You asked for this, and here it is. A low intensity DPS build for Berserker. Yes, the spammy Berserker gets a low intensity build in this guide. Be sure to watch the whole video to not miss out a thing about this amazing, really easy to play, fun to play in my opinion, and very strong DPS build that works perfectly well in almost all scenarios and is quite flexible for a DPS build. As always, special shout out to all my dear supporters that help me keep the lights on. But now, without much further ado, let's jump straight in. Big disclaimer at the beginning, this is a low intensity build, so it's not made for really high-end raid encounters like raid CMs or fractal CMs where you want to like have the hardest and the fastest clear time all the time. This is a build for people that just want to have fun in open world, that want to go into Iceblood Saga strike missions or something like that, and just want to have a low intensity build that does probably outperform a lot of not as good players that play a tryhard build. Hope that makes sense now. This is actually reaching over 32k DPS just by using 3 or 4 buttons. It's really, really strong. With that much said, let's start with the gear. So for gear, you want to go for full Viper's gear with Superior Rune of the Trapper. If you can afford infusions, you would go with Malign infusions. However, for the gloves and the boots, you want to go Sinister. This is like the thing. There is a link in the description if you want to see the written version of this. Be sure to check out the link in the description. Even if you want to go full exotic, there is a separate link for all the exotic gear stats as well. So for your weapons, you want to go sword, and if you want to have an offhand as well, I would go for a CC offhand, either hammer, mace, something like that. I would recommend going with Sigil of Paralyzation, so if you need some breakbar damage, that increases it. And you could even go for Sigil of Absorption if you play fractals or something like that. But the offhand doesn't really matter. I just take something that gives CC. The most important thing is having sword. You want to have Superior Sigil of Torment on one of the swords and Superior Sigil of Earth on the other one, and just the most amount of damage with Viper stats, of course. For all your trinkets, you want to go with Viper stats again. For your relic, you want to go with Relic of the Fractal, just the best amount of damage that you can get. If you can't get the Relic of the Fractal, you can go for Relic of the Kite, because it will also do some damage on your elite skill uses, which you use quite frequently, so you get actually some damage as well. This is just the best option if you have access to it. Now let's talk about the consumables and food. So for food, you would always use cilantro cured meat flatbreads, just for some more damage and condition damage, of course. If you don't have access to the ascended food, you would go with koi cakes. Yes, the stats are swapped, but they're still decent and very, very cheap. And for utility consumables, you would go with Master Tuning Crystals, the most amount of damage that you can get, or something of similar stats. Before I go to the trades, I want to mention, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. But now, let's talk about the trades. So the trades are really straightforward. You want to go with Arms, Discipline, and Berserker. Arms, just a lot of condition damage increases. You get more crit chance, you get more condition damage and crit chance, you get more bleeding duration, and you get chance on critical hit to inflict bleeding, quite nice. Then you get some nice adrenaline gain and more condition damage, obviously really good. You get more crit chance, really good. And you gain more expertise based on your precision, really good. You have a lot of precision, so you get more expertise, makes sense. Then you have Discipline for more adrenaline generation. Adrenaline and weapon swap, not that important. You get weapon swapping, recharge faster, also not that important. You mostly want to stay on sword, but still. And you get some burst skills, recharge reduction. That's quite nice because you want to spam those, of course. Then you take X Mastery. Yes, it's weird you don't run an X, but still, because that means that you gain ferocity, just more damage. That's it, yeah. So that's really the thing you take. This is not really helping you either, and this is also not really helping you. So you really want to get the most damage, even though this is not really like a crazy trade. Then you take Brawler's Recovery, which just means you cleanse some conditions when you weapon swap. Okay, some nice, but no damage increases here. You could go for Destruction of the Empowered as well. It's not too crazy because you will probably not fight any boon foes, and that's it. It's not that many good trades in here. And then you take 10% more damage with melee weapons, which is always the case, and you remove some Immobilize when you use a movement skill like your Sword 2, and you get some movement speed passive increased. Then you have Berserker, you get access to your F2, which is the Berserk form, and you get some passive bony value in there. When you get into it, you get some quickness, super speed, and fury. You get some bonus power and condition damage value into it. You get some more burning duration, really good. Burning is your main damaging condition, together with bleeding. When you critically hit an enemy on a 15-second ICD, you get some fire aura, which you can detonate with your Berserker skills, and that means that you deal some burning damage to them. Really cool interaction, really fun. Then you get more ferocity based on your position and more condition damage based on the portion of your power. Very good, just more damage, more stats. And then you take, when you use a rage skill, you inflict burning on nearby enemies. You have 3 rage skills, so you do that quite often. And rage skills extend Berserk longer. That's really cool. That's how it works, just really, really nice burning application and more berserk duration increase. Let's now cover the skills, how this build plays. So the auto take on sword is really fast, really strong. Then the 2 skill is not used in the rotation, but can be used as a repositioning tool, especially because it removes immobilize. The 3 skill is really strong if you use it against targets below 50%. The 4 skill is really nice for some damage. And the 5 skill is just a block that you can use if you wanted to, but it's not that strong. Then you have your healing skill, really, really potent healing skill because it gives you adrenaline, recharges your F1 skill in berserk form, and extends the duration. And for 5 seconds, it will convert all damage that you put out by 33% into healing. So you will actually heal quite a lot with this. Then you take Signet of Fury and Signet of Might for some passive damage increases. And you take Shattering Blow for some nice damage. And it's a stability providing short term and reflects missiles. And it's a really nice block as well. So really good utility skill. But if you want to go for even more skills that you want to use as many rage skills as you can go for, Outrage and Wild Blow. This is just a low intensity setup where you don't have to press that many buttons because Signet's passives exist. Then you have Headbutt for some nice CC. This will also CC yourself, but if you have stability it will not, so you can use that for example with Shattering Blow or just get some stability any other way. It removes Immobilize, it's a stun break. It's a very short cooldown and will give you full adrenaline and applies some burning of course as well. So really, really nice setup. Now let's cover the berserk form because that's the most important one. Of course, if you have maces in the offhand, you can use the mace 3, mace 5 and mace F1 for some heavy CC, but this build typically stays on sword. You would never use the F1 in normal form, you would only use the berserk F1, which is called Flaming Fury as you can see here, which is a really nice amount of projectiles that you use in front of you and does some nice burning damage and power damage as well. Really, really strong. You want to spam that off cooldown. For the rotation, it's really straightforward. I will explain how it works, but you can easily just use the auto take and reach 21, 22k just by spamming the auto take only without any button presses. Yes, that is really, really good. But I want to mention here the full rotation to get to 32k with only like 4 buttons or something. It's really, really easy as well. So let's start with the opener. In the opener, you want to start with Headbutt so that you get full adrenaline and use, of course, go instantly in your F2 in your berserk form and use your F1 of that. Then you use your healing skill and use your F1 again. Then you use your Shattering Blow to get some adrenaline back and increase the duration of your berserk form. Then you use your sword 4 and after you just auto take until your F1 comes off cooldown, use the F1. And that's the whole loop. You would always just auto take until your F1 comes off cooldown, use the F1. And then you repeat that loop until your 4 skill or any of your rage skills comes off cooldown, and always use, of course, your F1 before you use your healing skill because it resets your F1. And that's the whole loop. When you drop out of berserk form, that's not too bad. Do that from time to time. Just do it. Just do it! And wait until it comes back off cooldown and go back in. That's the whole rotation. You see, it's really, the opener has a bit more button presses, but after that you just most of the time just auto take. It's really easy to play. The only thing that I want to mention here as well is if you reach 50% of the boss, you would also start using your 3 skill. This 3 skill on sword, you could add that on 100% to 50% already as well for even more damage. I just wanted to decrease the amount of buttons you press, but after 50% you should always use it off cooldown. It's a big damage increase as well. That's the whole setup and how it works, and you can see it's really easy, really fun, high damage in most situations, quite flexible with mobility, healing and also utility skills. So I hope you enjoyed this guide. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. As always, special shout out again to all my supporters, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.